Hello, my name is Hector Heredia, and today I am going to talk about a few highlights of my self-assessment. I'm going to cover some points as to what I consider to be my top two strengths and top two weaknesses when it comes to public speaking as well as presentations. I will walk through a set of goals that I've basically put in place for myself to become a better public speaker. This will be a short but precise presentation. The next 5 minutes will cover a sort of like a reflection of my assessment after taking this class and some of the points that I feel were very influential throughout this course. So after a thorough reflection and evaluation, I have gained this knowledge from this public speaking class. I've come to the conclusion that my top two strengths are interacting with the audience as well as engaging them into the conversation. For example, when it comes to the audience interaction, as a public speaker, I find that one of my biggest strengths is this because I'm able to figure out ways to interact with the public. I have a great ability of finding uses of objects around me, working them into my speech. I am able to utilize a really good nonverbal gestures and hand gestures to keep it interesting. For example, if at one point I feel that I'm halfway through a highlight on a particular point and I don't feel that the audience is paying too much attention to me, I would take it upon myself to walk around and make some hand gestures and figure out ways that I can reel them into the conversation once again. The next thing is that I found to be one of my strengths is keeping the audience interested. I find that to be one of my strengths because I have been able to take a series of conversations and turn them into a more interesting speeches. For example, not too long ago, I had a group speech, which at one point I felt was getting a little bit monotonous, and I decided to take it a little bit off script than what we had already planned. It's basically ask questions to the audience and engage them into the actual topic. I was able to give the audience the chance to put in their thoughts as to what we were talking about. So those that were not engaged at that point definitely had an opportunity to be grabbed their attention and being able to get in the same level as we were as well. As far as my weaknesses is concerned, I believe that one of my major weaknesses is staying on topic. Although engaging the audience in my speech is one of my top strengths, I sometimes get too carried away and deviate from the main topic. I'm trying to basically do a little too much, I feel. I find that while it's a good thing to sometimes derail from the topic just to maintain the conversation a little bit interesting, it can definitely hurt the overall message of the speech. For example, if my main point on a speech is to let someone know about the benefits or the pros and cons of a product XYZ, and all of a sudden I go on a tangent about the manufacturer and different manufacturer of that particular product, it can deviate a little bit from the main purpose, which is letting the public know why this product is good or why it's not. Those are some of the weaknesses that I found that I have. Also, another one is forgetting the major points on the speech or the outline. I find it a little bit difficult to memorize certain outlines, and at one point I feel that because I don't have it down to a T, I will have to skip some of the major points, or I will have to go back to them so they're not in order as they should be. Those are basically two of my major weaknesses that I find so far that I find to have. As far as this particular month, two of the main topic that I was the most interested on were the verbal and nonverbal communication. Even though a lot of all these topics that we cover were really good, for some reason this actually brought my attention. For the simple fact that people do certain gestures and act certain way without even knowing. That way, if you are able to identify these clues and see how people react around you, you can definitely get to into somebody's mind without them even knowing what's going on. That's the main reason why I like that non-verbal and verbal topic that we covered. I do have set some goals for myself to become a better public speaker. The first one, obviously, will be to practice. Definitely, practice makes perfection, and I will also would like to learn how to identify a little bit better human behaviors, and I don't want to say manipulate, but I would definitely would like to learn how to steer certain behaviors with my speech, and just by creating that type of relationship, I think that will definitely make me a better public speaker. So far, this month I have learned a great deal of new ways to approach certain situations, not only on the public speaking side of it, but mainly on the, I guess, psychological side of it, which I was not expecting. One of the major things that I definitely have to work on is pronunciations. I believe that pronunciations is something that has held me back for a little bit as far as to become a better public speaker, and that's definitely something that I will work on. And just in conclusion, I definitely have learned a great deal this month. I have set some goals for myself to become a better public speaker, and hopefully this is just the beginning of a great career.